Hey Whitney, it's Dr. Scott. Sorry I'm getting this video back to you, or returning this feedback to you a bit later than I had hoped. I had a little bit of difficulty opening up the file and all that, but I was able to figure it out once I got it at home. So this screencast is going to kind of walk you through some of the major issues that I saw in your draft, and then I'll kind of explain like where you ended up with as far as a grade for this assignment. You'll need to revise this a little bit more, and I ask that you submit the revision by the end of next Thursday. So tomorrow, instead of special topics, I'm hoping that you'll come to me with a set of questions and some thoughts about how you might kind of address some of the feedback that I provide here. So you, I think, have the right kind of thoughts about these murals. I like this thesis statement that you're kind of working with. I believe both show strength of Portsmouth, Ohio, through the details and colors used in the murals. As you're noticing, a lot of things are showing up as with these red squiggly lines. I'm not sure if you're able to see that when you are typing this on your computer, but it's kind of tough to read in places. These are grammatical errors, or you're not capitalizing things, like, capitalizing P in Portsmouth and the O in Ohio, and doing believe instead of, oops, here I go misspelling things. So that kind of stuff, a little bit of it here and there is totally understandable, but it gets a little bit distracting in places. Not a super huge issue, but it's something you need to worry about. It's something you need to think about later on. So in the introduction, I think that you kind of jump right into things and saying, I'm going to inform you. You can leave the I out of there with this. Like, you don't need to tell us about the assignment and really what you're going to do, but you can talk about, like, if you've grown up in Portsmouth and you're aware of the murals, you might say, when I was a kid, blah, blah, blah. Or, you can even talk about, like, your experience with, like, Portsmouth's history, and you can kind of lead us into the flood wall murals and what your thoughts are about it. So you can kind of ease us into what it is you have to say. So that's in the introduction. The big issue there's a few big issues you'll need to work with in the revision. One is you've set your paragraphs to talk about one mural and then the other. And I think I mentioned this a few times in class. Setting your essay up that way is not going to be all that helpful because it puts the emphasis just on the murals. It's not putting the emphasis on your thoughts about the murals. So you've got this thesis statement saying, I think that these murals show strength, and they do that through the use of colors and the use of, I think, details. So have a paragraph about description, have a paragraph about details, have a paragraph about colors, and then use really strong description, which you do a pretty decent job of, but use those in that paragraph. So you'll have something like, so instead of like a topic sentence, which is like the first sentence of a paragraph that kind of announces what the paragraph's going to do, instead of having something that says, like, the first one I want to talk about is the steel mill. Well, that just tells me what it is you want to, like the mural that you're going to talk about. It really doesn't tell me like what kind of thought you have about it, but check this kind of topic sentence out instead. Okay, so check that sentence out. Two steel murals emphasize the city, and I don't know, like steel working murals or what have you, I don't know. But those murals emphasize the city's strength through the use of vibrant or strong colors. That tells me, like, okay, we're going to be talking about both murals. And what Whitney wants to say about them is that it's emphasizing strength, and she's going to be discussing colors and how those colors show the city's strength. That tells me where that paragraph's going to go. This paragraph just tells me, hey, I'm going to talk about a mural. This tells me what it is you have to say about that mural. And that's where I need to kind of see your writing get to, where those statements aren't just kind of announcing something, they're kind of announcing where your thoughts are at. I hope that makes sense. If not, let me know about that. Like I say down here, and I'll send this document to you as well so that you have this, so you can see what I'm looking at here and see my little notes on the side. You do a really good job talking about details. I'm not always sure like how the soft white clouds and the peacefulness, and I agree, like that's a pretty cool feature of that mural. How does that work with strength? You're going to have to kind of explain that. But you get to the concrete pillars, like that's pretty strong stuff. The thing to do in the revision is to say, all right, you got that strength idea with the details, with the concrete pillars. What about that other mural? Like, how are the two together, kind of working to show that kind of strength, just by showing the details that they have? So that needs to get worked out in the revision. I like in this paragraph that you're bringing us back to that idea of strength at the end. I think that that's a really good impulse that you have there. Something that you that you're thinking of. So make sure that you keep doing that, like when you revise. This paragraph has a lot more summary about what it is you're seeing in the murals, and not necessarily much that's connected to strength. Like you only kind of do that here at the end, where you say about strength. And again, a paragraph that says the colors in these two murals really emphasize strength because blah. That is going to tell me, I think that's going to be a paragraph that's going to be much more helpful in supporting your thesis statement. There's a couple other things to think about. Once you get those issues figured out with your, once you have a details paragraph and a color paragraph, maybe you choose another paragraph. Or, another idea to kind of compare these two murals. You'll need to think about two things. One, organization. Like, why do you have one paragraph and then another paragraph and then another paragraph? Maybe you think the use of colors or detail, maybe the use of colors was more effective than the use of details, and whatever other issue you might want to talk about. But there needs to be some kind of reason of like why you're going from one paragraph to another. And right now it's not very clear. It's just I have one mural, then I have another mural. So you want to think about that. The other thing to also address in the revision is that you need to integrate two sources. And we've read two essays. One, I forget, Conrad, I think, was the essay about what murals teach people. That's one that you could cite. The Andrew Fite piece, the historian here at Shawnee State, like he had a piece that we read that's about the Portsmouth floodwall murals. You could cite that. And then you could also cite that documentary. So you need to cite two sources. That needs to be in here as well. And you need a works cited page to kind of go along with that. Those are two of the bigger issues. Another kind of smaller issue is I'd like to see you insert captions into your writing. And I'd like to see you kind of flow the text around these images a little bit. And I know that you're probably working with RTF or some kind of word processor that might be a little difficult to allow you to do that, but let me know and I can help you out, because this right here, let's see, yeah, I mean this looks a little bit more like this image is more a part of your essay and not something that's kind of added in. It's just kind of like pasted in, kind of like that right there. So there's a lot to do, but you know what, I'm proud of you, Whitney, because I'm seeing some progress here. I'm seeing some good, some strong descriptive work here. We just need to take that next step, okay? And I'm here to help you do it. So let's chat tomorrow in our conference and ask me some good questions. Let's make sure that you walk out of there with a good plan to get this essay knocked out so that you can work on the rhetorical analysis. All right, that's it for now, Whitney. I'll talk to you soon.